Say cheese, everyone. Hello there. Our last episode was a snapshot of the history of cameras. And as always, it's time to make sure we got our facts right. Before we get started, we owe everyone an apology. We didn't share Jojo and MF's adorable photos. The team is still undecided about the cuteness factor, so we'll let you decide. On a scale of 1 to 10, how cute would you rate these photos? Now let's get down to business. Nia Sean wondered how long cameras have actually been around. The first photograph was taken in 1826. Yes, you heard right. Almost 200 years ago. That's older than the light bulb, the telephone, and definitely older than your favorite Instagram filter. Nia Sean also reflected on how in the past, most people, especially the poor, never had their images captured. It's true, back then, having a portrait or photo taking was a privilege. Things are very different today though. Between selfies, security cameras, and your influencer cousin who documents every meal, it's safe to say that almost everyone has had their image captured by a camera. Then came the question, are hieroglyphs letters or pictures? I guess you could say they're both. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs used symbols to represent sounds, words, and ideas. Basically, they invented emojis thousands of years before the rest of us caught up. Jojo mentioned the camera obscura. He was right. Now we believe his grade 1 in integrated science. Camera obscura is a natural optical phenomenon. When light passes through a small hole into a dark space, it projects an upside-down image of the outside world. After this, Nia Sean got into the chemistry of early photography, the concept of silver salt reacting to light. Also correct. When exposed, those silver compounds break down and create the first images. So photography was essentially science and art coming together in a single click. Emma talked about the first photograph that included people. And she's right. In 1838, Louis Daguerre captured a Paris street scene called Boulevard du Temple. The exposure lasted several minutes, so all the busy street life disappeared because traffic was moving too fast to be captured. Except for a man getting his shoes shined. He and the shoe shiner became the first humans to ever be photographed. Imagine having to hold still for that long just to get your picture taken. Nia Sean said color photography started in 1965. Not quite. The first color photograph was actually taken way earlier in 1861, but color photos didn't become mainstream until about a century later. Then there was the Polish versus Polish debate. Polish is a nationality, polish makes your shoes shiny. Both valid, dependent on the context. Next came a very important question. Can you actually play the word Kodak in Scrabble? Sadly, no. There's only one K tile, so unless you've got a blank tile, you'll have to keep this camera brand off the Scrabble board. MFA mentioned that the first video was made in 1978. Close, but off by about 90 years. The very first motion picture, Roundhay Garden Scene, was filmed in 1888 by French inventor Louis Le Prince. It's just 2 seconds long, but it changed the entertainment world forever. And finally, when was the first movie made? That depends on how you define movie. In 1878, Edward Muybridge took 24 sequential photos to prove that a galloping horse lifts all 4 hooves off the ground at once. That's definitely motion captured. However, the first surviving video came a decade later, and Hollywood didn't make its first film until 1910. And that's a wrap on today's fact check. See you next time on How Did We Get Here?